Hi, welcome back to your stable friend. Well, this has been quite a week again. They all seem like, I keep saying, oh boy, it's been quite a week. But you know, it's treacherous out there on social media, the things that I see. Wow. Okay, so this week, I kid you not, I'm on this page, I've mentioned it before, where people are either there because they need advice for horse training, or they want to give advice. So it's a lot of like old timers like me that like to give back. And then it's a lot of new people having maybe their first horse, or having the first horse that they're trying to do without a trainer, or something to where they are ending up on social media having to ask a horse training question. Boy, some of the answers I see on this page, it's jaw-dropping. It's jaw-dropping. So there was a woman who said that she has a really lovely but very exuberant 3-year-old horse, and sometimes when she's playing with him in turnout, he gets too excited and she feels that he runs up to her with too much energy. He comes in too hot and it makes her nervous. So this woman actually offered, this is horse training, this is her chestnut, this is her wisdom, her words of guidance and wisdom. Throw a rock at him. I'm serious. I'm serious. This is what she said. Throw a rock at him. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I kind of want to feel like I would very much prefer to be in a society where that person would be getting arrested in the next 10 minutes after they're suggesting throwing rocks at a horse. I chimed in and got no response. Well, I'll just put it out right there. I said, I'm curious if you are playing with your child, or with a puppy, or with a bunny, or with any young animal or human, and you were nervous that the child or the puppy was getting too excited, would you throw a rock at them? And of course she never answered, because I think we all knew what her answer was. No, of course not. Why is it okay though? Why is it even okay for her to think that she could type those words, throw a rock at him? Why is that something that is acceptable? It boggles my mind. And again, look, I'm a person who grew up with all of the old ways. I was taught from a very young age how to whip the horse, how to spur the horse, how to really punish. I was really, a lot of my education was spent on me learning how to really punish the horse. I mean, I hate to think about it. I hate to say it. I hate to relive any of the memories. But that was a lot of what my equestrian life was about. It was about learning how to dole out punishment. And when I see throw a rock at the horse, and we're talking about a young horse. We're not talking about a horse that's being malicious, which I don't really believe that they are malicious, or afraid or confused. We're talking about a horse that's feeling the joy of life, a joie de vivre. It's playing, it's engaging with its human. And someone suggesting that you throw a rock at it and just wipe all of that joie de vivre right out. Take all of the fun out of it. Make it so it's something horrible and scary and maybe painful. Throw a rock at your horse, you could put your horse's eye out. Throw a rock at your horse, what kind of a vet bill might you be looking at? Throw a rock at your horse. It was the worst idea I've ever seen. The lady did write back one time when I said, I think I must have said something like in astonishment, like, are you serious? And I think she wrote back something like, well, it's certainly better than being trampled. Well, there's a lot of things that are certainly better than being trampled. Yes, of course. And there's a lot of other ways to save yourself from becoming trampled rather than throwing a rock at a horse. So I thought we would discuss some of those. I mean, I feel like, it's silly to even talk about it, but then it's not. because you still see this. And it was acceptable for her to say it. And you'd think that wouldn't have been the only person to jump down this person's throat. I was. I was one of maybe a small handful of people that had the courage to stand up and say, what the F are you talking about? That is archaic, barbaric, just ugly, old, weird training methods that belong somewhere back in the darkest areas of our past that we should be moving quickly and far away from. And every time someone perpetuates it by saying, throw a rock at the horse, and then we don't have 1,000 people jump in and say, that is wrong, that is so wrong, that bothers me. I shouldn't be one of 5 people saying, hey, lady, that's no advice right there at all. And that's certainly not training. That is not training. That is communicating, all right, but that's communicating in a very dangerous, very unethical, and very uncompassionate way, especially to a young 3-year-old horse who is simply having fun. How about protected contact? How about make yourself a little barricade that you could slip into if the horse's energy got too high and you didn't want to be around that energy? When my old horse Speedy, in the old days, he was my first horse, and I was in my 20s and I hadn't been allowed to be in a turnout situation with horses before, going to riding schools or half leasing or what have you. I hadn't been allowed to be in that situation. So learning for myself, Speedy would love to play, and boy, he was very, very dramatic with his rearing and his bucking and his spinning and his everything. And sometimes he would sort of play a game of chicken with me and with my sister, and I, not even knowing what protected contact was, we would be in an arena with a lot of stuff in it. There was jump standards and different kinds of barricades and things. There was a Western trail trainer that had their facility next door, and we shared an arena, so we had all of their stuff in there. It was very easy to take a couple of the sawhorses and a couple of the standards and make a tiny little space and put your body inside, and only if you wanted to. Give yourself a little place to run in. I mean, yeah, maybe 1 in 1,000 horses might bowl over the whole thing. Really doubtful. You could also make yourself really big. You could go into the protected contact and make yourself really big and say, no, do not run over me. That would be enough. Inside the little area of the protected contact, some arms waving the horse off, and then bringing your joyful spirit back up again to encourage the play and to encourage the bonding time and to encourage the good feelings of a nice play session with your horse. Throwing a rock? No. I hope that one day I will wake up to an internet where I never see anybody say anything like that in the guise of horse training, that rock throwing would have anything to do with a way that we would communicate to a horse, in the same way that I would hope to never go onto a parenting or a dog training page and see anybody say to throw a rock at your child or to throw a rock at your dog. The whole thing is just wrong. And I pray that you, whoever you are that is watching this, that you agree with that. I pray that you agree with that. That you feel and understand that throwing a rock at any other live sentient creature, taking the chance to cause harm or pain, that is a violent act. And I hope that we can all at least agree on that. We need to agree on that and able to move forward with any of the other discussions that we will need to have on ethics and welfare and ways to train that do not have to do with violence. Ethical equestrian training programs. We will have to agree that throwing a rock at a horse is a violent act and has no place in training. Does it have a place in controlling? Yes, I could definitely control you. If you were standing over there and I didn't want you to come any closer and I began throwing rocks at you, I could probably control you from coming towards me. We should be in a place now in the year 2023 where we are no longer interested in controlling horses and that we are interested in communicating with them. And if you're going to be communicating with your horse, there is absolutely no place for throwing a rock. Okay? I hope so. All right, thanks for watching, and who knows what next week is going to bring us. Please, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, but even more importantly, please subscribe. And thank you for watching.